How are my Aries doing? Welcome to my channel and to your September 2019 love reading. We are going to take a look at your current situation, what's coming your way. I'm looking at singles and partners. So for my singles, if it's love, for my partners, if it's going to last, okay? The positive and negative influences, what to avoid, and anything else you need to know about the situation. Alright, lovelies, if you're returning, thanks for taking the time to join me. If you like how I do things, hit subscribe and comment giveaway down below, and I will get you set up with I'll get you set up in my giveaway at the end of the month, okay? If you're returning, thank you guys so much for all of your support. You are absolutely awesome. I really appreciate all of the love that you guys have. Now, if you're interested in a private reading, any of my products, my specials, information on my memberships, all that information, and my schedules are all that information is down below. If you want to contact me on Instagram, it's earthlyenergies1111. Okay, guys, general reading, take what fits and leave the rest. Now, there is some interesting astrological stuff going on for the month. Okay, so we'll kind of get into that as we dive into what's going on here. Overall energy that I had for you guys for this month was, for some of you, I feel like you're really planting some seeds this month. You're getting some progress as far as where you want to go in the relationship, just overall for both sides. But for some of you, I feel like it's not quite where you want it to be, or like you planted the seeds, but it's just not developing into what you really wanted this to look like. And so for some of you, you're having to kind of really dig deep and do some meditation this month, and really tap into that solar plexus chakra, that intuition, and see what and why, you know, and things like that. Is this where you really want to plant those seeds? If it's not producing something, what is it that could be missing? Things like that, okay? So let's take a look for my singles here and see what the current energy is. And okay, we've got the Messenger of Water here, okay, or the Knight of Cups. What's coming? The King of Pentacles and the Ten of Wands. Alright, the positive or negative influence on the situation. The Hierophant in reverse and the Seven of Cups in reverse. What to avoid. The Chariot in reverse. And what you need to know. The Page of Wands. Okay. So you're feeling the Death card about the situation here. Okay. Rejuvenating from something here. Okay. And how's your person feeling about you, Aries? The Page of Swords. Okay. Alright, so the Five of Wands at the bottom of the deck. So we've got with the... Oh, you can't even see that shit. Hold on. Hold up. So, overall feelings here. We've got the Knight of Cups, okay, in reverse. So we're not getting what we're really looking for out of the connection here emotionally, okay? So I'm feeling like, again, these seeds are not being, you know, nurtured in the way that you would think they would otherwise be, because you're not getting the responses that you kind of would expect to get when you're doing what you're doing and you're putting the effort out that you are. Okay, so you're in this position of like, well, listen, if you're not going to take it seriously, then I'm just going to take this as an indication that I need to kind of transition into a different direction, right? Well, the person you're dealing with has got the Page of Swords, so they're having a bit of a immature way of addressing this whole situation here is really what I'm seeing. They're not thinking through before they're speaking or before they're acting, or they're not taking things seriously, okay? They're just not taking it as serious as they should, considering the effort and energy that you've put out so far. That's the energy that I'm getting here. Okay, so with the King of Pentacles and the Ten of Wands. So what I'm seeing is that you you've got a person coming your way that is very confident, but it actually kind of makes you feel a little nervous or a little unsure about their intentions or about what's going on there. Okay, but I get the feeling like this isn't one of those situations where you should be fearful of it. I'm kind of getting the feeling like just because they're not completely ready for 100% commitment yet doesn't mean they don't have their eye on just you. Okay, I kind of get the intention this person is just extremely confident, and it might make you feel a little bit uneasy about it. I think you're used to being the confident one. Okay, what you need to avoid is the fear of loss or losing direction here. Okay, this isn't about fearing something a little bit different or unique and then just kind of running from it because it's not something you're comfortable with or used to. This is about allowing this opportunity to come in, because this is something coming into you, okay, as almost a gift from the universe. So don't avoid it and don't run from it, okay? It's telling you, be a little bit more open to the idea of somebody coming in here, okay? You're feeling like you just kind of want to run from the situation. There's something about it that's just, it's different than what maybe you're used to. It's the end of something old, and it's something new that's kind of establishing. Maybe they have a different sense of behavior. Maybe you're not used to someone that has all of that confidence that would matches yours, but you're not used to having that. Okay, and as far as they're going, they're really just trying to take this a step at a time and take it easy and go with the flow, which is the energy we're in. It's Virgo energy, okay? And that leads me to the whole situation as far as astrologically. With the energies the way that they are, okay, we've got Mercury, Venus, and the Sun all going into Libra. So this is about highlighting your communication and your boundaries, okay, your innermost limitations. How far are you going to let them go? But this month is also about using your communication wisely. So if you choose, when this communication or this situation arises, if you choose to come about this from an optimistic type of a perspective, which might be a little confusing at first or might be a little awkward, it's going to lead you to a much bigger perspective, a much more profitable beginning, okay? And you guys are going to have a lot more balance with all of this. We've also got Saturn going direct in Capricorn, okay? Which is also highlighting your boundaries and making sure you're establishing those in a very consistent and constructive way. So, with all that in mind, this is an opportunity for you to do just that, establishing some boundaries and allowing what you've planted to actually reap some benefit here. Okay, now, as far as my partners go, okay, how are you currently feeling about your person? Temptation in the reverse. Alright. Where's the connection at here? The Four of Swords in the reverse. Is this lasting? The Page of Pentacles. What's going on here? Three of Cups in reverse. The Nine of Pentacles. On what you need to avoid. And love, what you need to know. Interesting. Interesting. Alright, partners. So let's just clarify here how you're feeling. How are you feeling about your person? How are they feeling about you? The Hangman and the Nine of Wands. Alright. So we've got temptation here. We've got temptation in the reverse. So somebody's not very tempted to move forward here with something. Maybe there is some kind of alternate temptation that someone's looking at, or someone's taking a bit of a break here with something, okay? You're feeling the Nine of Wands, so you're feeling kind of like you're on your last leg at the moment, and this person's not really sure what to do about it, okay? You are just really just trying to stay your course here and not get sidetracked, especially emotionally. You're just trying to stay focused on your goals here. But this person is kind of just like not really sure what to do, and they're just kind of hanging there in limbo, wondering which direction to kind of take here. The connection, we've got the Four of Swords, so it's kind of at a standstill at the moment, okay? Everybody's just kind of sitting here wondering how to recharge and regroup. But there is some quiet contemplation, so there could be a break in communication right now, or just not very constructive communication. Same rules apply. You could already be kind of in this energy pretty early in the month as far as how this is going to affect the overall result, okay? Almost like a test to test you on how you're going to apply these limitations and how if you're going to be practical about them as well, okay? You don't want to have fear in a place where it can negatively impact or influence the result, okay, and where you're going ultimately. So, quiet contemplation. All right, is this going to last? We've got the Page of Pentacles. So you're in a position where it does have potential, but it's going to take, I don't want to say sacrifice, but there is a sort of a price to pay here if somebody's feeling like that anyway. I'm not exactly sure why, other than it's almost like it takes away from good news in other areas, or it's a fear, you know, that if I get if I take on like the information, then it has to be expressed or discussed or dealt with, kind of an energy. Okay, so if in other words, if you guys want it to last, then yeah, it does have to be expressed and dealt with, and it has to be initiated from some direction here. So that's really the influence letting me know that if this is something that you guys are wanting to take seriously and take it to the next step, I think that's what's lacking, is this connection here. Connection about where you're wanting to go and how you want to be with each other. I mean, I think there's been some distance here with affection, especially. But that's in a place where you guys are, you're in a temptation to reignite things here, but someone's going to have to take initiation, because whoever has planted the seeds to make this feel the way it does isn't getting rewarded back, is what I'm picking up on, okay? The Three of Cups in reverse. So yeah, there's no forward movement happening here. There's no planning. Someone is feeling a little out in the dark, and actually I get a sense of feeling even maybe a little jealous or suspicious because of the behavior and the way that it's happening, okay? The Nine of Pentacles in the reverse, for what to avoid. So what we don't want to do is mistakenly think that they're being admired elsewhere, or be naive about if that is actually happening. So that's something that really needs to be addressed, okay? We don't want to avoid misinterpretation with that. So in this conversation that you wind up having, that's really, I feel like what you guys are going to be discussing is, I don't want to jump to conclusions, because we don't want to do that. This is about going with the flow and letting natural course take action here. But you do want to come to a very solid understanding about how to fulfill each other, so that there's not a question about where they're getting it or where you're getting that satisfaction, okay? And then love here, and what you need to know. So you guys have a very deep-rooted connection. There is love. There's pure intention here. If you were wondering if they were still in a position of loving you, even though they're acting so shady or so distant, yes, there's definitely still love here. I definitely see also that there's a need for communication. You guys have done a lot of work, someone has, in making this established, starting this. But now it takes that inner wisdom and really fine-tuning where you're at with it all. Okay. Now, I want to get an advice card for you, and then I also want to go ahead and get into the extended and see what are some hidden facts and challenges here, or blockages. What do you need to know, and what do you need to do? Okay? All right. A love connection defies explanation. You know, I kind of get the feeling like both directions are going into a serious type of a connection here, so I kind of feel like you really did whatever needed to be done to get into that next level commitment. So whether you're coming into a new relationship or you're already in one and you're really strengthening it, this is a very special connection, okay, on both sides here. So take a chance on love, okay? When we love, our lives are changed forever. Very beautiful. Beautiful. All right, this is all about having faith and having good communication, solid roots, solid boundaries, and, you know, don't sit on this too long. You guys have a lot of stuff to enjoy about each other. It's just right now everything's kind of just sitting, so initiate. All right, that's what September's all about, initiating. All right, much love, guys. I'll go ahead and get into your extended. We'll see you next time. All right, for my singles, let's take a look at further information on if this is love here. The King of Wands. So we have a King of Pentacles and King of Wands. I think that's a really great indication here that we've got a solid connection, okay? The Four of Cups in the reverse. So somebody is really tired of just sitting on the idea of this relationship moving forward, okay? I feel like the person you're dealing with, Aries, that's the person sitting on this, and you're the one ready to make a move here. You really want to see some action, see some dedication. And the Five of Pentacles in the reverse. So somebody's coming out of being in a disappointment. All right, I do see it with this Chariot. The more you don't lose your direction here with this connection, the more you're going to have a reward and some clarity come through about that. All right, the Eight of Wands for what you need to know. So we got the Knight of Wands, Page of Wands and the Eight of Wands. So good information, happy news coming in regarding this connection and the passion that you have for each other. And it's coming in pretty quickly. So that's a great indication as far as how things are going to, in the end, they're going to turn out very nicely here. Okay, for those of you who this is you in your situation, there is a good outcome as we get into September. All right, for my partners here. All right, we've got the Three of Swords, the Knight of Pentacles. So I can see where there's a little bit of fear that maybe they're looking elsewhere, they're looking onto other directions here, but again, I'm really feeling like this has a lot more to do with strengthening the relationship more than anything being jeopardized here. Although I do see that as the fear. It's like you're constantly thinking about if this person has their intentions elsewhere. And I think it's because there's either there's someone that's been coming around that you're not really too fond of, okay, and that's creating an insecurity, or they're just not giving you that attention that you really need to have in the relationship. And that's what you're going to discuss here. That's what you're going to connect to get to this next level. Ten of Swords and the Five of Swords in the reverse. Yeah, so the initial cut's already happened. We're ending that. We're ending that mentality here. Okay, I see more of that being a fear than an actuality. I don't see any kind of, or get any kind of impression that there's any ill will intention, okay? Doesn't necessarily mean there's not behaviors that aren't favorable, but that I'm not seeing anybody cheating or doing anything like that. This relationship has gone through some phases to strengthen it. All right. So, the Chariot in reverse and the World in reverse. This is not complete yet. This is not over. And it's not a time to think that you've lost your direction either. Okay, my partners, this is about re-establishing the love that you already have. Okay, partnerships that are not going through those karmic types of symptoms right now, that's who this is for. The end of some kind of fear, misbelief, misconception, something that's been really holding up the progress of the relationship because you think someone else is admiring them, or they think someone's admiring you, or there's something about that that's just holding up here. Okay? the strength came on top of this Three of Cups, okay? It's talking about have strength over that fear. The Three of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords. So this is saying that there is communication and dedication to you, okay? Working together, trying to build with you. That's all that's on their mind. Although they might not be as communicative as you would want them to be, they are thinking very rationally, intuitively, and they're trying to come at this from a clear conscience. So that's good. I wanted to see that. I wanted to clarify, what their intentions are when it comes to this Three of Cups in reverse. So again, I don't see that this is about anyone else. I see it's about fine-tuning the connection with you. Okay, now, back to my singles here. Alright, do we have any hidden facts that we need to know about here? The Knight of Swords in the reverse. So, I think the reason why this has been so difficult is because it's been, it's possible the person that you're dealing with, the reason why it's been a little tough it's been different, it's been a different kind of scenario for you, maybe a different type of person or characteristics, whatever it is. They're just kind of a deeper thinker, and they're very blunt and direct, and I think that's very different for you. I think you're used to being the one that's got all the opinions and that's comfortable just kind of spitting it all out there, but the person that you have associated with here, that's now in your life, also likes to discuss things in that very direct way. And I think sometimes you feel like it's more of a cut, or just maybe a little too opinionated or something like that. So that is something that you need to be aware of as far as their intentions. If they're just very opinionated and they like to debate, and that's just kind of how they are and who they are, then that's not something to necessarily take as a blockage or a factor that would be a negative. But it is something to consider so you don't misinterpret it. Okay. Any blockages? The Queen of Pentacles. So you're not getting exactly 100% of this person's attention, all right? And because of that, it's created a little bit of like a intuitive block. Like maybe I'm misunderstanding the situation. That's not the deal here, guys, okay? The blockage is that you just need to kind of flow. Okay, you need to go with the flow and let this one ride out. Don't jump the gun before you see where this is going, okay? Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Okay, positive influence, positive factors are the universe is working in your favor and they're working towards what you want. Things are happening and they might be a little bit uncomfortable or unfamiliar, but that doesn't mean that it's not in your best interest. So don't cut it off before it can develop into something. You want those seeds to actually create something, then let them do that. All right, actions to take here. King of Swords. King of Swords. So match that Knight of Swords energy that they've got and show them, instead of taking it personally and feeling like this is something that is controlling or overriding you or anything like that, match the energy with your ability to think just as deep and make it fun, make it a battle of wits, but in a way that's attractive. It's something that you guys can have a very deep intellectual conversation, and that is very attractive as opposed to the alternative. There's nothing about that, unless it's directed at each other and you guys need to like fine-tune that passion, okay, and remind each other, hey, it's not about going against each other, we're in this together, So sometimes that has to be reminded, especially with two very passionate speakers, okay? All right, advice here. For my single Aries. Okay, affirmation for acceptance and give in to passion. Yeah, you guys. So accept who you are, accept who they are, accept that if you have the deep intention that this person is in this for the right reasons, then don't find a reason away from that and just go with it, accept it, be okay with who they are. They need to be okay with who you are. And it's going to be really awesome because you're going to have, all of this is going to naturally just kind of balance itself out. Your passion, as the more you communicate it and you kind of get on the same page with that, everything's about communication. Everybody's just going to be talking and talking and talking. Okay, this is about coming to terms with it. Finding a way to root these concepts and these beliefs. Now, if you're dealing with somebody where this is just needs, this all sounds great, but it's just not, it's not happening, then the person you're with, you need to consider what that connection is really about. Okay, for my partners here, any challenges between you? Knight of Wands. So there could just be, yeah, this fear here. This fear that it might be somebody else involved, or that they're giving their attention and passion to somebody else. I think they're more like fine-tuning their passion more than applying it anywhere else. That's really what I'm getting here. But the challenge is really being able to see that, realizing that, judging that effectively and accurately. And that's quite difficult when there's so much passion involved with the other person. It can get very difficult because emotion can take over, territorial, energies can get in the way. But I do see a realization about this challenge coming into light here. It's been a little bit of a blockage, but there's a realization coming. The Hierophant. So you might need to take a bit of a conventional route here. All right. If you're dealing with a person that has a really hard time talking about this, okay, when I say conventional, I mean rather than sitting down and doing that let's talk thing, come at it from a different angle, and really, you want to express yourself in a way that you are comfortable, with where things are at, if you are, and more validating that's not, validating how you feel and where you don't want to go. You don't want to go backwards, and establishing your foundational concepts when it comes to your morals, your beliefs, what you will take, what you won't take. But rather than doing the point the fingers and going back through all the little details and all the situations and experiences, I'm seeing more just an overall summary of how you feel about the situation. It's going to come off a bit better with this, okay? Those are the actions that I was told to tell you in reference to accepting what's going on here. Okay, the Seven of Pentacles for positive influences. So I do see family. If there isn't family already involved there, I do see family coming. So there is a bigger connection here going on, something that has a lot more to do with nurturing the connections that you are already associating with, or bringing in new connections. But there's still work to be done here, is what I'm seeing. So right now, this is about looking at everything that you've established and accomplished, and really rewarding each other for all of that hard work, as opposed to holding it over each other, right? All right. Further actions to take here. Two of Swords. So just be careful who you associate with, or who you get your influences from. Okay, you don't want to go to somebody who already has like a bias, a negative bias. Keep it positive, okay? And sometimes we need to kind of just keep it to ourselves to keep it positive. So discern that carefully on who you're going to, because there could be somebody that's just going to automatically make it a no, and not shine light on this, where otherwise you were fine without it. So just discern carefully on who you're getting your advice from. All right, for my partners here, advice. Affirmation for healing the heart. Okay. So it's okay, basically, to accept this as a healed situation when you come to this conversation here, okay? That's what this whole thing is all about. And if you needed confirmation that things are coming to a point where you are going to see eye to eye on things, that's what this card's telling me, right? Keep it positive, keep your influences positive, discern carefully who you allow into the situation, and I do see a very healing outcome coming from this, okay? All right, lovelies, I hope that gives you clarity with your extended. If you want to look at your personal situation, let me know, and I hope that helps. Much love, guys.